Welcome back to Medicine Mindset. Today let's talk about how to build reputation of a good student. That's going to really help you. Why? Because if you feel the pressure to uphold your reputation, you will work a lot harder to get that extra A plus on your grade. Okay? And that kind of pressure, yeah, sometimes it gets kind of intense, but it actually does help you sometimes. Actually, most of the time it does help you to get that A plus. For me, when I was in high school, I mainly did my studying through this with the expectation that I would a teacher once called me a model student, and that actually changed the way I viewed myself as a person, and it pressured me into getting that A on the midterm. Okay, so you may be perceived at the moment as a bad kid. Okay, you're a really bad kid, and maybe the teachers, maybe you want to change that. You want to make the teachers respect you. You want to get respect from your academic standpoint. Let's talk about how to do it. First things first. Let's make sure that you actually have the good grades to have that reputation. I'm going to make another video on how you can get good grades depending on each subject. Every subject is different. So I'll go over that maybe sometime soon. But if you have one thing without the other, your equation will not work to make you the model student. So you have the good grades here plus the good reputation equals model student. But let's say you don't have this. You just don't have that, and it's going to come through one time or another. There was a kid in my class who had the best reputation ever. Every teacher was like, he's so intelligent. He's probably going to go to Harvard. But he didn't actually have good grades. It was all just an act. That got exposed really quickly, and not only was he seen as a nerd for a really long time, he also lost a lot of credit in the long run that he could have gotten just by being these two things at the same time. So you gotta work for it. End of the story, guys. In almost everything in life, you gotta work for it. Okay? Number two. So the other thing that you want to do is you also really want to have the a relationship with the people at school, specifically the teachers, the staff, um, club leaders. Okay, you want to build a relationship with these people because these people are the ones that will represent you basically, not only in your letter of recommendations, but also in general when you go to school. These are the people that will have the most impact on your performance. So if I have a good relationship, so I talk to my teacher a lot, that really helps me. Is that sometimes when I talk to them about like, oh, I'm doing this right now, like I went to the skate park and stuff, I'm having so much fun there. That builds not only like, because not a lot of people do this, it builds a relationship with the teacher, and then they can help you more. So I told my teacher I go to a skate park for physics, and she used to bring in a lot of examples in class of stuff that we do in physics that relate to skate parks or with the unit. And sometimes, if they're extra nice, they give you some additional resources, which is so helpful, especially when you're struggling with a specific topic or you just don't get something. Okay, that's just an added benefit. But these kinds of things, they will actually directly benefit you because your reputation is based on your social network. Okay, I'll probably make a video about this on how you can build a good relationship with people and just people skills in general. Let's continue. So you want to go the extra mile occasionally. Okay, this is a tip that actually pushed me pretty far. Is that randomly, maybe on an extra exam, you just go out of this world. You just do work so hard, you are guaranteed. I use IB, so 7 out of 7, or A plus 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 max out. Like you're such a good student that on this one assignment that the teacher even comes and meets with you like, what is going on? Why are you so smart? Something like that. But you do it every once in a while. If you do it every assignment, you're going to get burnt out. But if you do something like this, that just makes you really stand out. Like I remember I did this once and I got held back after class on an exam and I was so scared. But what the teacher told me was, this is such a phenomenal assignment. You did an amazing job on sorry, not assignment, this exam. And that really, like, she noticed that I put in more effort than usual. And that really helped me stand out as a good student. Teachers are really connected. They talk to each other, they meet with each other. And she told other teachers about this as well. So that also built my reputation as a model student. And it also changed the way I saw myself because I actually thought I got in trouble. I was a bad kid, as I said before. So that really helps as well. So the fourth thing that I'm going to say is um, two more things. Be careful who you're associated with, because who you're associated with is essentially who you are, okay? Not only in life, but also when it comes to reputation. If I'm associated with the kids that sit at the back and do some random stuff, that's not going to look too good on my reputation. Maybe once in a while I go and sit in the back and I talk to them because they're my real friends, but in school I want to chill out a little bit on that. Why? Because it directly affects my last point here, which is number 5. Show that you're serious. Show that you're serious. Okay? Obviously, this also connects to my first point that you can't have one without the other. So you gotta have good grades in order to show that you're serious. Otherwise, it's like those kids that randomly start acting like the top student in the class. That is like kind of weird to the teacher also because they know this guy is failing. Why is he acting like he's got it all together now? Okay, you gotta have the good grades, guys. But also, if you're associated with the kids that don't take stuff seriously, it also affects your reputation. So then you show that you're serious. Essentially, what I'm saying is maybe you have a bunch of the desks at the class, and here's the teacher's presentation place. You sit at the front seat, and you really pay attention. You raise your hand, you act class. You're like locked in, okay? You gotta be really locked in. And because you're so locked in, the teacher will notice, especially if you come prepared. Okay, that shows you're serious. Maybe you pre studied the chapter before the class or something like that, and you're basically an expert. The teacher is like, bro, how does this guy know everything before I say it? But at least he's asking the deeper questions. And the dumb kids in the back that are still trying to figure out, what is this guy talking about? They're not going to ask as deep questions, and they're going to seem like they aren't listening as much because they're asking the teacher to repeat stuff, they're taking random notes and stuff. But when you already have notes and you already done all these things, you're going to be like instantly elevated in the teacher's eyes. They're probably going to talk to more teachers about you as well, and you got to do this a lot to make sure that you're like fulfilling the expectations and stuff. It's a lot of pressure, it's a tough life being a top student, but it's worth it, in the end of the day. It's really worth it. So you're locked in and all that. And your friends at the back, yeah, you can chill with them sometimes, but that's only when you're like not that you're having a chill class. Okay, you want to show that you're serious. In fact, I'm going to say that showing that you're serious and doing all these things I said, come prepared, pre study, sit at the front, is so effective, in fact, that there have been times when we've had an exam in school and I've been so busy with my personal life that I haven't had time to study. These friends that sit at the back of the class will sometimes get like B's or C's or an occasional A every now and then. But because I simply pay attention in class, even if I don't study like crazy, sometimes I've been able to secure an A or a 7 out of 7 because I'm an IB student, right? Sorry, happy face. So yeah, 7 out of 7, A++, super happy life. So that's how you build a reputation as a good student. And it's a really good idea for you to start implementing a lot of these things. And I'll probably make another video on how you can get good grades as well. But for now, that's all for today. You don't have to be associated with this, and building an identity as a good student will help you reach full potential. or even just get a good letter of recommendation. That's all you want. Bye.